Hey y'all, I'm coming at you with a couple of fun book hauls that I've had recently. So I'm just going to show you some of the things I've got. Some of them are school things, some of them are just lists of books. I have a running list of books that I think would be good to have around the house for them to read, for my kids to read. And some of them are really just for fun. So I'm gonna get right into it. The first thing, I made a Goodwill run. I was having a really bad homeschool day. You know, those days where the kids are literally fighting about everything. They're fighting me, they're fighting each other. School takes way longer than it's supposed to. And so my husband got home from work and I said, I'm out of here. And he joked, no you're not. I said, yeah I am. I actually needed to run to the store for a couple groceries. And I said, you know, next door to the store is Goodwill. I need a break for a minute. I'm just gonna go in and go through the books. And he was way overly excited. Not really. He thinks we have way too many books in our house. I'm finding that I do not think that there is such a thing. So, but I found some really fun books. Let me show you what I found. So we found this. It's the Vietnam War profiles. Let's see, it gives us just kind of a little bit, very short little history of the life and their involvement in the war of Ngo Dinh Diem. He was the leader of South Vietnam. JFK, Ho Chi Minh, Lyndon B. Johnson, William Westmoreland, and Henry Kissinger. And so I grabbed this because we were about to start our communist section of history. And it really helped. We actually did use it to go over who the two leaders in Vietnam were mostly. And then also really quick, just the two presidents, like what their involvement in the war was. So this was a really good find and very timely. Also one we have used since I got it. I got this awesome hardcover book for like $1.50 called Words That Built a Nation. This is such a cool book. I'm so excited. It has so it says a young person's collection of historic American documents. So it goes in the beginning and you have common sense, you have the Bill of Rights, you have the Declaration of Independence, at least the preamble. So you have all those, but as you go in, you have the farewell address of George Washington. You have a piece of Uncle Tom's Cabin, the 15th Amendment, the 19th Amendment. I'm not going to do everything. It has the March on Washington's address. We have Kennedy's inaugural address. So we read a little bit through that when we talked about JFK. It also has, and it's very short, it has Ronald Reagan's farewell address and a little bit about what he did. It gives you a little tiny synopsis of what was happening at the time that this paper or address was given. You have Nixon's letter of resignation, which literally just says, "Dear Mr. Secretary, I hereby resign the office of President of the United States." But it talks about why this was important and a little bit about the history. And it includes like some pictures. So you can see pictures of Kennedy. Well, I don't know if that's in focus. With Gorbachev, or no, Reagan with Gorbachev. Anyway, so this is a really cool book, and I was really excited to find it. Let's see, I also got Crispin at the Cross of Lead. I've never read this, but I know that Abby is a really good author, and this is something I am most likely going to use next year when we study medieval times with my older son. I also found Little Women. This includes both Little Women and Good Wives. Yes. So it has part 1 and part 2 in it. I do not own this book, but I love this book. We actually read this for an adult book club, and none of us had actually ever read it. We had all seen the movie and loved the movie, so we read it. We didn't realize it was 2 parts. So I've actually never read the second half, and so I'm excited to continue that. I got Justin Morgan Had a Horse. We already have Misty of Chincoteague, which I love. So I'm excited to read this because I love that, and I think my soon-to-be third grader is going to really love these books because Misty was one of my favorites at his age. I got The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Now don't be confused by the modern cover. This is the original collection of Sherlock Holmes stories. So I've never actually read these, so I'm excited to read them, and then my kids want to read some of them too. I found Matilda. It's just a good one to have. And I found Flags of Our Fathers. My oldest son, who's going to be in 6th grade, is obsessed with World War II. This is going to be a little over his head. I figured this would be good for me to read. I saw that there is a junior version of this book, though, so I'm going to be looking for that, and then we can kind of work through it together. So that was my Goodwill haul. I also went to a homeschool thrift sale. A couple ladies were holding it in their front yard. It was kind of like a yard sale. So I grabbed a couple things there. I got for free this box of sight word readers. My preschooler is just got through the first set of Bob books and is starting to do sight words. So this is good. It was free because it's missing 2 or 3 of the books. But it's still great. It's got 20, I think now I have like 22 to 23 of these little books that we can start working through. We also got, that's my phone, sorry. I really struggle to find books for my 3rd grader to read. It's hard for him. He's not an avid reader. He's a good reader. He's not struggling. He just doesn't love reading. So it's hard for me to find things that he just like really latches onto. So we're trying different things. I got him a Judy Blume book. I found Fudgemania. And I'm really wanting him to try some Ramona books. I got him Ramona and Beezus, but he hasn't tried it yet. I also got him Ramona Quimby, age 8 is what I found. So he's 8 years old, so I'm hoping he'll really like these books. I've heard most kids do. Honestly, I've never read most of them. I also found, we are going to be using this for geography next year, but I found this Atlas of the World for like $5. It's really cool. It just tells you a little of the country, so it's more than just an atlas. It's really colorful, gives you just a lot of information on the history and the culture. So I'm really excited to go through this with my kids next year. For free, they had some of these Brainquest workbooks, so I grabbed grade 3 to do some this summer with my rising 3rd grader. And I also found, this is not for anytime soon, this is for like 2 years in the future, but they had the Exploring Creation with General Science along with the Solutions in Text for $10 for the set. And I already know this is what I want my rising 6th grader to do in 8th grade. And so I figured I would just go ahead and grab it for that price. Next I did a, what do I want to do next? So I got 4 books from Thriftbooks. I've only gotten 2 of them in. We are reading Mr. Lemoncello's, the first one, Escape from His Library. So I grabbed the second one, Mr. Lemoncello's Library Olympics, so we can read that this summer. We're currently reading the first, and my kids really enjoy it. I really loved it. So we are going to read this summer. Then my 3rd grader, the one who struggles to find something he likes to read, does love this series. It's called Heroes in Training. So I got 3 of these books from Thriftbooks. And I got them because my next haul had I think I got 9? No. Like 5 from there, and these ones just filled the gaps in the series. So I got these. These are so much fun. They are about the Olympian gods, the Greek gods, growing up, like what their life was like as they grew up after they get thrown up out of Kronos. So Zeus wasn't eaten by Kronos. He had to grow up somewhere, and then he had to go and save the others. And it's his quest to save all of them and find out who he is, because he doesn't know who he is. So these are so fun. And so if you have a kid who, it's really, the writing in it is really simple. My preschooler loves for me to read these out loud to him, and then my 3rd grader likes to read them himself. So they serve double duty. These are so good. Lastly, I made a book, my very first book outlet order, because they had a bunch of stuff on sale. So most of these books cost me about $2.50 to $3. So like I said, we got a whole bunch of the Heroes in Training books. So that one was about Apollo, I think. Sorry. I think that one was about Apollo. So we got Typhon, Hephaestus, Perseus, Cronus. Oh, this one's Apollo. That one was Ares. And I don't remember the 2 from Thrift Books that haven't come yet, but they fill in the gaps. So we have books 1 through 4. He reads those avidly. So I've now gotten him books 5 through 12. So he has plenty to read, and I have plenty to read with my rising kindergartner. For my oldest, my rising 6th grader, I got him the Dark is Rising series. I don't know what order these go in, but these were just recommended to us, and they were really cheap, so I got them. So we've got Greenwich. I don't know what order these go in. Oversea, Under Stone. Pretty sure next is The Dark is Rising. And then the last one is called The Gray King. And I think there's 5 in the series, but the 5th one was a little bit more expensive, so I didn't get it yet. I'll be watching for it. So we have never read these, but these were recommended to us. So we're going to give them a shot. I guess I'll let you know if he likes them. Also, for my oldest, I got him Soul Surfer. I also really want to read this, but I love the story, and I know he will love the story. I got him Among the Hidden. Again, I haven't read most of these books. This was just recommended to us. This sounds really interesting. It says, Luke has never been to school. He's never had a birthday party or gone to a friend's house for an overnight. In fact, he has never had a friend. Luke is one of the Shadow Children, a 3rd child forbidden by the population police. He's lived his entire life in hiding, and now, with a new housing development replacing the woods next to his farm, he's now no longer even allowed to go outside. Then one day, he sees a girl's face in the window of a house where he knows 2 other children already live. Finally, he's met a shadow child like himself. Jen is willing to risk everything to come out of the shadows. Does Luke dare to become involved in her dangerous plan? Or can he afford not to? So, there is a whole series of this Shadow Children series. It was recommended. So I figured we'd try the first one and see if he likes it. Or if I like it. I like to read most of his books. This one was called Small Spaces. This is about, it says, it's with this ominous, let's see, at night they will come for the rest of you. It's with this warning that 11-year-old Ollie and her 2 friends, Coco and Brian, set out on a chilling adventure in the woods, with nightfall fast descending and the ever-watchful eyes of scarecrows on their backs. What had begun as an unremarkable school trip to a nearby farm soon becomes a frightening journey into the world behind the mist. In order to survive and not remain trapped there forever, Ollie and her friends need to be quick on their feet as they work to unravel a 100-year-old mystery, save their classmates, and beat the villainous smiling man at his own game. So, the Dark is Rising sequence is a fantasy sequence where they're trying to defeat the dark, whatever that is. And that is right up my son's alley. These 3 books are kind of an effort to get him to branch out. He always reads fantasy, And so I want him to try some other, obviously this is nonfiction. He does like some nonfiction, but he likes to read about war, like World War II. These are just fiction books that are just different than what he normally reads. And so I really want to try and get him to try new things. So I just went ahead and got them because they sound interesting to me, a little spooky. So I'm going to have him try them and we'll see how it goes. I also got him, and we will see if he reads this. I'm really interested. It's called Lifeboat 12, and it's a story that we learned about in history this year. That's really interesting. So it's based on a true story, but it is written in prose. It is written like a poem, and he doesn't love poetry. But I think it'll be interesting. So I'm going to read it first, and then we might read it together. I'm not really sure what we'll do with it, but it looked really good. And the story was amazing, so I'm excited to see what happens with it. And then the rest of them were books that I just got. They were on my list of good things to have around. We got My Side of the Mountain. We got Winnie the Pooh. We got From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. We got The Call of the Wild. And then lastly, I got The Secret. Okay, update. My other thrift book did come with my other 2 heroes in training. So we can add those to the pile here. Also, for anybody who wants to try out Book Outlet, again, all the books from Book Outlet were very cheap, and they're all brand new pretty much. So I highly recommend looking into that. If you want to try it, I'm going to include a link in the description. If you go through my link, when you order, you'll get $10 off your first order of $25 or more. And it will give me 200 points. That's all it does for me. But it adds points to me for referring a friend. And that allows me to get free books at some point. So if you are wanting to try it, I would really appreciate you using my link, and then you get your own link so that you can also refer friends. So I have my 2 helpers here who are looking through the books we just got. Say hi.
Why do scarecrows have to be so creepy?
So I'm going to start over here because this one's looking through his books really quick to answer the question. That's okay. This one, I don't even really need to ask him the question, but what books are you most excited to read?
This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one.
Basically all the heroes in training.
And this one.
So all the heroes in training, he has been asking for them and waiting for them. They're here. Shipping took about a week, so I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it would take longer. So Scotty, looking so far, what are you thinking you're going to be most interested to read?
Well, these ones are like another book we're reading called Del Toro's Quest.
Which one's that one?
Dark
The Dark is Rising.
And this
told you he
one
would like
would
those.
be kind of cool, except that it's really creepy. Because scarecrows give me the heeble-jeebles.
Okay.
So,
What
I
else?
don't know
Let's
yet.
see. What have you not looked at? These are
Oh.
more Dark is Rising.
yeah, but there's this one. I feel like that would also be really creepy. Damn.
So, I knew he would gravitate towards the Dark is Rising series. But, like I said, I've got him some different books. I'm hoping maybe he will kind of break out and try some new things that aren't so fantasy. Fiction's good. You know I like it. Anyways, that's them. And he's already reading. So, that's my haul. I've been going out periodically, getting on the computer. I am actually planning a thrifting trip. It's kind of going to be my Mother's Day present to myself. I'm going to go around there's 2 Goodwills in our town and an American Discount Thrift, and then 2 bookstores. I'm going to need to set myself a limit, but I'm just going to go and see what treasures I can find. So I will let you know what I do find. But until then, happy hunting of your own.